Well, g'day, Donna. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, I'll just highlight now. We've had some Skype challenges. It's been a weird day. I've done a couple of interviews today. There's some hiss running through this, but just listen through that. Listen through the hiss for the content that we're going to get today. And yeah, you know, we're entrepreneurs. We just live in the moment and get it done. You know, so that's all right. So what we're gonna talk about is you're on a mission, and I'll just get you to talk about your journey and tell us what you're up to, because what we're here to talk about is Run, Donna, Run.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, just go for it. Just tell us your story, how it all happened, and yeah, I'll just sort of interrupt you every now and then to sort of highlight an interesting point.
Yeah, you want me to tell you the story from the idea of Run, Donna, Run? Or
yeah, okay. Let's get the start of it. Just get the first idea, and then we'll go back and we'll dig in and find out why that's all.
Yeah, the idea started, Pete, when last year sometime I thought to myself, it was, I don't know when it was, October, November. No, let's go back at 12 months. Yeah, 12 months ago I had somebody ask me, because for those who don't know, I've had a stroke in the past. And someone asked me, since you've had the stroke, Donna, is there, what can't you do? And I've never really thought about it. And then it was a good question, so I thought about it some more, and I said, oh, actually, I haven't been confident in running since I had this stroke, which was 1978. So what I thought about in November, I kind of thought, when I was walking one night along the beach, I thought, well, I'm going to give this a go. So I was walking by myself thinking, am I going to trip over on the footpath and, go plonk on the ground? But I made it, and I started off with 20 steps, and I had to stop, and then 24, and I had to stop, and then 30 was the last attempt for that night, and I'm just going, okay, I think I need some help. I just wanted to go further and see how I could, attempt to, manage this, I suppose, challenge, because I hadn't ran since I was a kid. Yeah, so from that, I actually had met previously to that attempt of running a couple of guys by the name of Sean and Chris at a seminar that I went to. And I just got their details, and I spoke to Chris just for about 5 minutes, saying, well, what do you do? And he said, look, we're a business. There's two of us, Sean and himself, and they teach people how to run properly, avoid injuries, all that sort of thing. And I was really intrigued, and that's when I said to him, look, yeah, when I was younger, I had a stroke, and I've always kind of, thought in the back of my mind, can I run again? So I sort of kept their details and, never really thought about it much again. But then that day when I did the attempt in the beach running, I came back home and thought, I really need help. And I was going to put something on Facebook, and then I thought, oh, those two guys that I met. So I rummaged through all my notes from the seminar, trying to find their website. Yeah. So I really checked them out. I'm pretty positive.
So what's their website?
Their website is brewstersrunning.com.au.
Okay. I'll put a link to that too under the show notes too, so people can go check them out. So yeah, so you found their details?
Yeah. So I found their details, sent them an email one night, and I was up late one night thinking, how will I write this email, to see if they'll help me, and I had an idea that I would like to do a fundraiser. So I thought, yeah, maybe a fun run would be great, if they could help me. I wanted to support the Children's Hospital. That meant a lot to me, and I thought, oh, this would be great, a great reason. And
so I just want to stop for a sec. The screen sort of broke up there. What was the name of that hospital again?
Oh, the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, they mean a lot to me. They've saved my life a couple of times, actually, not just from this stroke. I was diagnosed with diabetes type 1 when I was 14 years of age, and I was in a serious condition then as well. So, so I've got a couple of things that, I wanted to do, and I thought, this would be a good chance, and, do a fun run maybe. So I got a response from Sean straight away that night. Actually, it was quite funny. I'm just, looking at my phone and go, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah, and he said, "I want to do this.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow." Yeah. So that's where it all began, basically, and then we've gone from there. Yeah.
Okay, so take us through when you had your stroke. Like, how old were you, and just the situation, and sort of, I guess, what life has been like since then that led up to now, facing the challenge of running.
Oh, okay. Look, life has been good to me, really. I mean, I'm lucky to be here in 19. I'm giving my age away now. In 1978, when I was 8 years old, I had a stroke. It's easier for me to say I had a stroke, but I also had other things that included, meningitis, staph septicemia, which is the poisoning of the blood, aphasia, which is a loss of speech. But yeah, basically I had on the left side of my brain damage from the stroke, which affected the right side of my body. I also had a hole in my heart, the heart murmur, really serious things. I was in intensive care, and my parents were told that she's lucky to be alive, but she may just go home and may never walk again and be just lying flat on her back and not really responding. And that was pretty serious stuff for my parents to hear. And so from there, I'm obviously here. I am so grateful for the help that I've had over the years, not just in 1978. I've seen so many people that have supported me, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, helping me along the way, even for the diabetes. It's a whole team effort, I think. And and my family, of course, especially my parents. They're such strong people. They just still to this day they amaze me.
So that, like, you've had support over those years.
Support.
So I was saying, you've had support over those years.
Yeah.
But like when it first happened, like, do you remember back in that time, like, what it was like? I mean, did you lose your speech at that time? Like, what was life like for you after that? Like, immediately after that?
I do remember. I was immediately after the stroke happened. You mean?
Yeah.
Because I was actually, at the time, I lived in Mildura. So Mildura is in the northwest of Victoria, and I had to be flown by air ambulance to Melbourne at the Royal Children's Hospital because, it was serious. Back in the Mildura Hospital, they just didn't have the facilities then. And so I do remember bits and pieces. And I do remember not being able to speak. And, so I laugh about it now because people say I speak so much, and my friends laugh.
Nothing's going to hold you back.
Yeah.
But so you remember wanting to say something but nothing coming out.
Yeah.
What was that? Talk to us a bit about that. What's that like?
Yeah. Well, as a kid, I just sort of, I suppose my parents kind of understood me when I was pointing to things, or when you just have different responses in sounds. It's funny, I could still laugh, which was great. I always remember my siblings coming to visit for the first time and making me laugh, and that was that's a really nice, good memory to have, that I didn't lose the ability to laugh. But yeah, it's kind of surreal thinking about it now, that so long ago, that was my condition, just lying flat, not able to move, not able to walk, and not able to speak at such a young age, or at any age really. It's pretty serious.
Was it frustrating? Like, did you feel like, were you thinking, gee, I wish they could hear me, what was it like internally, that no one else was there? I mean, and a lot of people don't live to be able to tell the tale, to be able to speak about it. I'm trying to understand, like, what it's like to want to move but you can't do it, to want to speak but it doesn't come out. Like, is it a frustrating thing, not being able to communicate like that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and I haven't been asked that, Peter.
I'm just fascinated.
Think about this because I suppose because it was so long ago, I don't really remember focusing on that time as being frustrating. As a child, all you want is your mum beside you, and she was always there. And unfortunately, my dad was in Mildura, like 6 or 7 hours away, with my other siblings, and that you just want to be comforted, I think, and not being able to speak. Yeah, that I don't know how to answer that really. I don't know how I managed to get through it because it's been so long ago.
How long was that period of time for then? How long till you could then speak and have some movement and stuff? How many, was it years, months?
No, it wasn't years. So that's probably why I'm finding it difficult to answer the question.
Yeah.
My speech came back while I was in hospital. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. And that was an amazing experience. Anyway, it just came back like that. The doctors couldn't believe it. I remember the experience still in great detail. My mum was just gorgeous, and she still is, but she'd always try, I suppose when you're a child in hospital, try and keep me busy and doing stuff. And we were playing this game, it's called Chinese checkers, I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I know it, I used to play that. The marbles and the holes on the board and the triangle shapes, yeah.
That's right. And we were playing that, and for some reason the counters went all over the floor, and we must have knocked it, and my mum was picking them all up, and there was one that I could see on the floor that she didn't see, and I said to Mum, oh, there's a green one over there, and I think she was just like, she just looked at me and just went, oh, I don't know how she and she just went, I mean it would have just been a moment where she thought, oh my gosh, hallelujah.
Yeah. I'm feeling it now, and I wasn't even there.
I know, yeah. And it is a really happy story. And she went and told the nurses. The nurses were kind of looking at her oddly, she tells me. And even the doctors came, they called a doctor. And I even remember a doctor, asking me the questions, what's your name? I said Donna. And even pointing to his watch, what's this? And I'm just thinking, it's a watch. But I suppose they didn't know how it was mentally as well. Yeah. So, I'm very lucky.
Okay, so your speech came back, but your mobility after that, obviously because the challenge is now running, did your mobility come back, sort of, or some of it come back at all, or was it a long period of time? Tell me a bit about that.
It was a long period of time. I was in hospital for 2 months, but I still, when I came out of hospital, was in a wheelchair. I did have, it's all the right side of my body, so my hand was, to show you, it was very clenched. Now it's not. I can stretch my fingers. Before I wasn't able to. It was just really clenched like that.
Yep.
And sort of like the spasticity was really there. And I came, so I was still doing physio, heaps of physio when I came back home to Mildura, heaps of occupational therapy. So there was a long period of treatment. But I think it was within the 12 months after having the stroke that I began to walk again, which was fantastic.
Okay, so that's after, you're trying to walk, you're practicing and training and everything, what do they call it, like rehabilitation, that sort of stuff, was it?
Yeah, and I did a lot, especially in the first year back. I'm surprised they didn't make me repeat school, because I always remember Mum coming when I was at school and taking me out, to go and do physio, occupational therapy, massage. It was constant. My mum was like the taxi. How they say there's mum the taxi driver. She was doubly. Yeah. But it was a really busy time, and just getting me on track, and we were so that's why I always say I'm so lucky to have the support that I did. My family my parents were so helpful in that. But at the same time, you need the inner strength and determination, I believe, to get through something like this. Yeah.
Right, so for you, I just want to sort of get a bit of an understanding too. So you say it's the right side of your body. It doesn't work how you want it to work, but what about the feeling, the actual touch and all that? Like, how's that?
I can feel everything. Actually, I'm probably a little bit more sensitive on the right side, to tell you the truth. Yeah, so I still have feeling. I'm not. It looks a bit clumsy sometimes when I do things like if someone's watching me cut vegetables or something.
Yeah.
Look a little bit awkward, but I'm never in any pain, because some people think,
it must hurt. Yeah, I actually thought when you show the wrist like that, I'm thinking, oh, does that hurt being that position all the time?
No. I mean, I showed it very, tight before, just to say it was before, but it's tight now. I'm very lucky. It's a little bit looser. It still has that slight spasticity to it.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't have any pain from it, except from when I run and do
normal stuff that if you strain yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of that describes kind of what your body is doing. How have you remained so determined? Like what drives you? That most people, like people starting out just in life anyway, there's challenges in life. So you've already got sort of setbacks before you even start to get to the point to zero where most people are coming from. You've got a lot of challenges before that. How do you remain happy and what's driving you?
Yeah, some very good questions that I've never been asked.
Good. I must be getting good practice at this interview thing.
Yes.
Take your time. Like, you don't have to rush and just say an answer. Like, if you want to think about it for a sec, that's cool.
What drives me? Is that what's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what's been driving you for all these years?
Okay. I think. Look, I've had my ups and downs. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not this, wonderful motivational, inspirational person all the time. There's been difficult times, Pete. Yeah. So I'm not going to make out that every day of my life has been a happy experience.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about it then. Like when it is hard and when things aren't going well for you, like what drives you through those difficult times?
Yeah. Okay. I always remember what I've been through and then think to myself, I've been through worse than this. So that makes me keep going. I've had, tough times where, just even personal, situations, nothing to do physically, where I just think to myself, okay, this is hard now, but I've been through tough times before and I'm going to get through this. And I think that's what keeps me going, because I've had that experience of a really bad situation. So I always kind of look back at that, and that's probably, kind of a good thing for me, just to remind myself what I've been through and how far I've come and how lucky I am, and how I always just feel grateful for that. So gratitude is a big thing for me.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of getting you through the tough times. But what's driving you? So now it's you've talked about that moment where you just wanted to get further, more than 20 steps, right?
Oh, okay.
But what's driving you to even notice that and go, I want to go further? There's something behind that. That's not just about, I just wanted to go 21 steps or 20. There's something behind it. What is it? I'm not trying to be a hard-hitting journalist or anything. I just want to know, like, what?
Oh my God, I have to call you Andrew Denton or something.
That's a compliment and a half.
Did you pardon?
I said that's a compliment and a half.
Good. What drives me for the run, Donna, run thing? Can I give you a reason for that?
Yep.
What drives me for that is the Royal Children's Hospital, of course. Like they mean a lot to me, what they've done, and I think about how they've helped so many children and what they can do in the future for so many more. So that is one of the things. Another thing that drives me, and that is keeping on motivating me through this, because it's not easy training for a marathon, Pete. I don't know if anyone really gets that. But I do, like I said, you know, in the past and even now, like I have my good and bad days. What drives me is I have a Facebook page and a website, but I have a lot of people even respond on the website, but the Facebook page especially keeps going on every day, and I have people just encouraging me. And that is really special to me, because that keeps driving me and keeping on going. Because I think now, I've spoken about this for, you know, since November, been doing so many stories and, you know, grateful for that, and, you know, and going on about it, and I just think, I can't go back now.
You've gone too far, you've made too many promises to other people and yourself.
And I suppose you saying that too is that I'm generally, I like to be a woman of my word.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go back. And what drives me, yeah, I think in one word is determination. I think that if I look back on stuff that I've had in the past, challenges, hurdles along the way in my life, I always just look back at, you know, what have I been through in the past? Okay, I can keep going, and, you know, if I got over that, I can get over this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about Run Donna Run, the concept of the website, everything, sponsors. Like, you've worked hard to get to this point. What once you decided I want to move forward and you started training with the guys at Brewsters?
Yeah.
From that point, could you talk us through the process of getting things going? You know, so they got you running, and they want you to do some running, but now you're talking about a marathon. I don't even want to run a marathon.
Look, I was talking about a fun run, remember?
Yeah.
And then Sean said, oh no, you've got to do a marathon. He hadn't even, this was on the phone when I first spoke to him. And I said, you haven't even seen me walk. And he's going, no, a fun run's easy. You got to do a marathon. This is a challenge. And I was going, yeah, I know. And I said, you still haven't seen me walk, but there are words that he said to me that I still remember to this day, that he said, anyone can run a marathon, it's just all in the mindset. And that really made me think, and I've done a lot of work on mindset and challenges, you know, along the way that I've experienced, and I thought, okay, so those words really stuck in my mind. So yeah, we went and kept on going with the marathon, and the whole process of doing this, to get supporters on board, you know, because basically the bottom line is I want to have support from people. You know, encouraging is great, but the bottom line is to get donations. And there's a lot of work to go behind that, Pete, to really get that support and people, you know, wanting to help.
Okay, so just got my setup here. Can you name some names? Who is sponsoring this so far? I mean, if you have to dig in and look at your website right now to get them up, that's cool. Who's sponsoring this event?
Oh, I thought you were going to get them up.
Oh, you want me to do it? All right, cool. Oh, hold on a second.
No, that's right. I do. I have people helping, like Brewster's running. I also have Sash Art, and I have Campisi Produce, which of course that's my name. That's
yeah, well, that name did sound familiar. Yeah.
And that is a gorgeous cousin of mine and his family. They have their own business, and they're helping me out as well, which I'm very grateful for. I have people like Simone Pirelli have helped me out. They're a lingerie company. Polar, which, you know, if everyone, you know, runs and cycles, they know what Polar is. Polar is the gadgets and things to help, you know, the heart rate monitors, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And these people are all helping out with services and or products. So the big challenge, which I'm very grateful for, but the big challenge, Pete, which I have found with this experience, is getting sponsorship in the way of money.
Yep.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And that's sort of something I'm finding seems to be, a story that I'm hearing from a lot of other people that I know that are doing different fundraising. Yeah, it's tough times, I think.
Yeah. Okay. As you're speaking too, I was listening, and I've got the site up in Dualio Clothing.
Yes.
Dualio Clothing is another one too.
Yeah, he is. I didn't mention Dualio Clothing. Yeah, I do love Alex, and he's helped me out with designs for t-shirts, which I was hoping to mention anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Dualio is actually finishing up, but still Alex is helping me out. So that's why I kind of didn't mention that.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll just mention him anyway for now.
No, Alex, yeah.
Okay, so I'll link all those sponsors up too on the page when this goes up on the show. So people can click through and check them out, and naturally I'll be linking to your page so people can find out more about them and your story and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to get my screen back to how it was before. Just hold on a second. Get all my website-y stuff out of the way. Cool, now we're just back to us. So yeah, getting sponsors and that sort of thing, because you're looking to raise more money, I guess. What's the money other than donations? Like what expenses do you have to get this thing underway? Just so people that might be watching this now, if they want to sponsor, like if you want to sponsor Donna for her Run Donna Run campaign, what's the money? What do you need the money for?
I should have mentioned Sub 4. Sub 4 as well.
Yep.
They've made their sports gear.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry about that, Justin. Justin's from Sub 4 is, they've designed sports gear for me, which is fantastic to wear. I love it. Yeah. But the question again, sorry, Pete.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, what expenses do you have that are going to make this whole thing possible in the first place?
Okay. The expenses that I have at the moment that I really need help with is t-shirts. They're what you're talking about with Alex from Dualio. He's helped me. We've got designs and everything in place. But we just really need some money behind us to get them up and going, basically. To
get the shirts made, you mean?
Yeah, so, to get them printed. Yeah.
And what are those shirts for? To sell?
Yeah, the shirts are for the public to purchase, and they have the design that we've put together, but they also, the money from the t-shirts basically goes to the Royal Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm. So it's the money to make the things that are going to make more money?
Yeah, just the costs, The costs I'd really like to have covered just for the printing and the t-shirts.
Yep.
So that I was hoping that, the 100% of the sale would go to the Royal Children's Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what that one's about. I also would like to do, someone suggested, which I think is a great idea, a fundraising dinner event. Because I'm really grateful for all the sponsors that I've mentioned. I do have a lot of products and things that I would like to put up for auction,
Okay.
So doing a dinner event as well, just having a nice night out dinner, acknowledging the Royal Children's Hospital, also doing some sort of auction on the night, whether it be a silent auction or whatever, and just have some entertainment or something, and just to make it a fun night. But that's the sort of things that I currently need help with.
So to actually just put that night on is going to cost money, to hire a place and the food and all this stuff. And on the night you're hoping to raise money as well, like make it a fundraising night so that you can get money for the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys,
any ideas?
There's an option. Yeah, ideas. No, we don't want ideas. We want money.
Yeah.
Because it is nice to have people chip in where they can, like making shirts for you. That cuts costs for you. Making shirts and doing all these great things and training you, and I'm putting my little bit in there where trying to help out, like to get a bit of exposure.
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, it's the money that's going to pay for those other things that you're really looking for.
Yeah, and I've had such a great response, Pete, from, you know, especially the first video that went out of me telling my story, and that people were just so wonderful in responding. And I still, even, you know, when I've been approaching sponsors, potential sponsors and that, I still, you know, ask people to watch that, and they're blown away by my experience, which is, you know, wonderful. Yeah, so I'm just so grateful for the enthusiasm from people anyway, and that's great. But yeah, I do have a challenge. I have a challenge of raising $50,000 for the Royal Children's Hospital.
Yep.
And I know that I'll get there. Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Okay, so if people want to come and find out more about Run Donna Run, what's the website?
Yes, it's rundonnarun.com.au, and yeah, you can see all the information on there. The homepage definitely tells you the details of what the money's going towards, which I think is really important for people to know, because I would like to know if I'm donating to something, or what is this going to go to.
Yeah.
And I decided when I spoke to the girls, Stephanie and Ellie from the Royal Children's Hospital Foundation, I said, well, how do we go about this? You know, I have a choice of where the money is, you know, donated to, or what do you do? And they said, yeah, we give people the choice. And I was saying, well, what do you actually need? And they said that's interesting, because people just already automatically go, you know, oh, well, we'll donate to the cancer department or whatever. But I actually said to them, I just really want to be able to give some money to something that's really needed. So what we decided to do is to put it to the wish list, and this is it's really important, because the wish list actually responds, you know, quickly to the most immediate, you know, needs at the time. So if it's something that they need right away, if they've got some money in the wish list, they can spend that straight away. If it's a really important, you know, or emergency situation. So that's what I really loved about the wish list. So it can go to anything, rather than me saying, oh, I wanted to go to the diabetes department because I have diabetes. Well, you know, I just prefer it to go to what's needed. Yeah.
Much more useful, much quicker to get things done, and it's not just some vague, oh, it's going to the hospital, it's going to the next thing that's needed in that situation, that's awesome. That's really well thought out. Okay, well, yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show and telling us your story and talking about all that sort of stuff. And talking about the Run Donna Run thing, so that people can actually be aware of it, know what it's all about, and donate. So guys, go to rundonnarun.com.au to go in there and check it all out, watch the videos, check out the sponsors and everything there. But more importantly, if you got some money, give it to this this campaign, to this foundation, to the hospital that has helped Donna out so much in her life.
Thank you so much, Pete. I really appreciate your time, and it's great talking to you.
Yeah, it's great. I just love doing this anyway, just having a chat. So thanks again. You've been a great guest.
Yeah, thanks, Peter.